Atoms. Chapter 12 Physics Insert. Introduction. About atom. Atom is the fundamental building block of matter, having a confined positively charged nucleus at the center, surrounded by negatively charged electrons. Every inorganic, organic, or even synthetic object is made up of atoms. Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment. Most of the fast, highly charged alpha particles went whizzing straight through undeflected. This was the expected result for all of the particles if the plum pudding model was correct. Some of the alpha particles were deflected back through large angles. A very small number of alpha particles were deflected backwards. Rutherford bombards a thin gold foil with high fastly moving positively charged alpha particles. Alpha particles are produced from a radioactive source. Whenever the alpha particles pass through the thin foil of gold, the following observations are made by Rutherford. Rutherford nuclear model of atom. Rutherford overturned Thomson's model in 1911 with his well-known gold foil experiment, in which he demonstrated that the atom has a tiny and heavy nucleus. Rutherford designed an experiment to use the alpha particles emitted by a radioactive element as probes to the unseen world of atomic structure. These deflections were not consistent with Thomson's model. Rutherford was forced to discard the plum pudding model and reasoned that the only way the alpha particles could be deflected backwards was if most of the mass in an atom was concentrated in a nucleus. The drawbacks of Rutherford model of atom. Drawbacks of Rutherford's model of atom. Rutherford proposed that electrons revolve at a high speed in circular orbits around the positively charged nucleus. When a charged particle, i.e. electron, revolves around positively charged nucleus, it needs to be accelerated so as to keep it moving in circular orbits. Alpha particle trajectory. Alpha particles are only significantly scattered by nuclei. Electrons are so much lighter than an alpha particle that it is hard for the alpha particle to transfer much momentum to them. But nuclei are small, that's why alpha particles can travel macroscopic distances without being scattered. The few alpha particles that were deflected back or to one side were being repelled by nuclei, which are also positively charged. Electron orbit. In atomic theory and quantum mechanics, an atomic orbital is a mathematical function that describes the wave-like behavior of either one electron or a pair of electrons in an atom. This function can be used to calculate the probability of finding any electron of an atom in any specific region around the atom's nucleus. Each shell can contain only a fixed number of electrons. The first shell can hold up to 2 electrons. The second shell can hold up to 8, 2 plus 6, electrons. The third shell can hold up to 18, 2 plus 6 plus 10, and so on. The general formula is that the nth shell can in principle hold up to 2, n2, electrons.